Thank you, thank you. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, because somewhere around the world, it is truly what time it is. And first, before we start, I'd like to thank all my co-hosts for being here today, and I would like to apologize to them and to you, the viewers. I buried my brother December 4th, so my last two appearances on the show, I may have seemed disheveled and bothered, and I am in better spirits. I am doing better, and I just want to make sure that for you guys out there, I wish you all a happy holidays, and I tell you sincerely, love the people that you should love and love them the most. Let's get into the story. MedMen exiting Arizona and Nevada cannabis markets. The embattled multi-state cannabis operator MedMen announced this week it is selling off its Arizona and Nevada-based assets as part of its strategic restructuring toward an asset-light growth strategy in the company's core markets. MedMen Enterprises, Inc., a Florida-based multi-state cannabis operator, MSO, announced on Wednesday that it is exiting the Arizona and Nevada state markets and will sell off its assets to MIT Cannabis, an Arizona-based MSO. The sale covers MedMen's wholly owned operating subsidiary in Arizona and its two dispensaries located in Clark County, Nevada. According to a press release, the company said that the transactions are part of its strategic review and evaluation of divestiture opportunities of its non-core assets and will be carried out subject to customary closing conditions, including the receipt of applicable regulatory approvals. MedMen sold off its Florida-based operations last year following the previous departure of its embattled co-founders over unpaid loans. This is in a statement from MedMen's CEO. MedMen is pleased with the outcome of our strategic review and has made good progress in our restructuring efforts. These transactions will bolster the liquidity in the short term, reduce liabilities, and enable the company to focus on operating efficiencies and executing our long-term asset-light growth strategy in our core markets. This is Ellen Harris, MedMen CEO, in a statement. MIT Cannabis co-founder and CEO, I think it's Ivan, but Ivan Sahara said the sale will expand our portfolio of flagship dispensaries in Arizona and will continue to bolster the company's vertical presence in Nevada. Following the state, MedMen's remaining operations will include California, Illinois, Massachusetts, and New York adult use cannabis markets. The company had previously considered selling off its New York-based assets to Ascend Wellness, but the deal ultimately fell through last August. For my co-host and for you in the chat, tell me what you think about what's going on with MedMen. Do you think that them breaking down their business and selling off, I guess, some of their assets in order to pay off a debt that is out there is a smart thing, or do you think they should have fought a little bit harder and tried to make the market work for them? Tell me what your thoughts are.
Yeah, they can't. They can't fight any harder.
Mighty have they fallen. And at once upon a time, man, you remember when MedMen came out with that Super Bowl commercial,
that $1 billion valuation, the unicorn.
Yeah. You know, like I thought at one point that MedMen's marketing from back in the day would carry them through whatever, and the name would live on through all the stuff that we're dealing with on a state level. But seeing less and less MedMen headlines, less and less MedMen stores, and I'm starting to be bearish on MedMen, man. I think they might go the way of Dodo pretty soon.
I mean, it is possible.
You have more organized, better run MSOs who have just stolen their thunder.
You don't think that there's a chance that if it does get knocked down to a Schedule 3, that some big pharmaceutical company is going to come in and try to just outright buy MedMen and all of their properties?
Yeah, maybe, but it
depends on the value.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if you have, I think they owe too much for that to be liquidable for them, Tony. Yeah, it's because they have so much debt going on. But you know, I do find it interesting.
The value.
Oh, go ahead, Dale.
Excuse me. The value of their assets is based upon the current scheduling. Okay, and the state's making this legal. If the feds change the scheduling, their assets may be worth basically nothing.
Very true.
I don't know.
Very, very
And
true.
I represent companies other than cannabis companies, and we have meetings all the time, and you take a look at the hard economic realities of the market you're in. At some point, you got to cut some dead weight. Okay, this is not an unusual discussion to be having in a company. It's just a lot of these early cannabis companies went out there running a race. They thought, oh, we're going to have a sprint to the line. It turns out to be a goddamn marathon. And if you can't work with the local governments and the state and the federal government to keep this going, and the marathon just keeps getting longer. At some point, your assets can't support it. You got to cut your losses. This is business. And I wish that going back 4 or 5 years, we'd have had more people with decent business savvy and cannabis understanding and how to work with governments running these companies, because now that's exactly what they need to be successful. You got to have that inside your company and much more. Mm-hmm. Helps to have a sugar daddy too.
I do find it interesting too, Dale, that they are taking kind of like, it seems, or maybe maybe that they're taking kind of a backwards approach to this, because you have most MSOs that have retreated out of California, but yet MedMen is still in California but selling off its Nevada and Arizona assets.
I think that California market as a whole is suffering because of just everything that they've done, like, to the economy in California. And I think that no matter what the business is, honestly, if you're not running that interstate trap, you suffering.
Ooh.
Isn't MedMen headquartered here in California?
I mean, they used to be. They did. I don't know if they still are now. I have no clue. If I was to guess,
this is where they first planted their flag.
If I was to guess, their headquarters would be in Florida, because I believe the Soroyas live in Florida.
I mean, the other MSOs that we've seen like retreat out of these major places, they've gone back to the states where they're headquartered at.
Yep.
Or they've gone to markets that are actually growing. I mean, MedMen, they started out here. I think they will try to hold on at least to their California and their New York assets. At the end of the day, I think that those might be all that's left of them pretty soon.
Hey,
as they just hold on for dear life.
I mean, with how New York's framed it up, they may have the best weed in New York come along that on the legal market.
Right, New York might have been.
Hard realities of California is that California overregulates and overtaxes everything. And with this one, with cannabis, it was just double dip from both sides. Regulate the shit out of it, tax the shit out of it. And we only retreat we've gotten is from cultivation taxes. Regulations haven't got more streamlined. We're still fighting over regulatory compliance. The trap's just driving by you, waving at you on the freeway.
Yep.
It's like, I'm delivering. I don't need your shit.
And in way nicer cars too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yes. And any thoughts on this, Rochelle, before we move on?
Brand new VIN numbers on those cars too, Jason, right?
I'm not surprised, honestly. Like, MedMen's been having so many problems. They're just seemingly a poorly run company, and they're running out of cash. So I wouldn't be surprised if they end up liquidating even more assets in the near future.
That's right. I wouldn't be surprised either. I wouldn't be surprised either at all.
I don't think anybody really. And this is like no shade towards MedMen. I know they're different. They're a very, very different company today than they were, when Bierman was at the helm. Doesn't really change anything in my mind. But I don't see them. They have a poor history. They have a poor rapport with the streets. They have poor rapport with Wall Street as well. It just seems like more and more like a depreciating asset on a public level and behind the scenes too. So I don't really see much upside for them going forward, other than them holding on for dear life for those real estate assets and just continuing to do what they can do in LA market, the Illinois market and the New York market. Are they still open in Vegas?
Well,
no, they closed Nevada.
Well, they just sold Nevada. This is part of that deal. Nevada and Arizona, they're selling.
Yeah, so I mean,
so if it was me, I would have just held on to Nevada and New York. I would have tried to get rid of everything else.
I don't know. I don't know. You can't say that when you don't know how their finances are, Tony. That's a tough
I
call
know,
right there.
bro, but see, I know it's cheapest in Nevada, on everything pretty much, and in New York, I know is a market that's booming. But then, you're right, because they don't have any political influence, so they have no slime balls that they can talk to and get next to that can lobby for them. And when you're trying to play at this level, when you reach that level where you need to play at this level, you got to have a few slime balls.
You got to have a few slime balls.
They end up staying in Vegas, then they're just gonna get bought out by Planet 13.
Oh boy. All right. I'm